WALL-E is one of Pixar's best films to show rather than tell, but what is show, don't tell. Let's zoom in on that. It is a storytelling technique where visual elements, actions and behaviors are used to convey meaning, emotion and plot instead of relying on dialogue or exposition. This technique makes for a more immersive and engaging experience by allowing the audience to interpret what is happening rather than being explicitly told. Instead of Wally saying he's tired, when he wakes up you can see through his body language that he's struggling to wake up. He drives into the wall and is then shown recharging in the sun with his solar panels. The plot. In the distant future, Earth has become a wasteland covered in garbage due to rampant consumerism and corporate negligence, mainly caused by a mega corporation called By and Large. The planet was abandoned by humans, who now live on a massive spaceship called the Axiom, leaving behind robots to clean up the mess. However, all the cleanup robots have broken down, except for one, Wally. And who is Wally? Over hundreds of years of isolation, Wally has developed a unique personality. Despite being a machine, he becomes curious about the world around him, collecting interesting objects like lighters, toys, and other remnants of human civilization. He has a strong sense of wonder and fascination, and his favorite discovery is a VHS tape of the musical Hello Dolly, which makes him long for love and companionship. Wally is portrayed as a kind-hearted, hard-working, and persistent character. Despite his mechanical nature, he exhibits deep human emotions, such as loneliness, compassion, and affection. When he meets Eve, a more advanced robot sent to find signs of life on Earth, Wally falls in love with her, and his devotion to her becomes a driving force in the film. Who is Eve? Eve is a stark contrast to Wally in terms of design and technology. While Wally is small, rugged, and worn out, Eve is sleek, white, highly advanced, and equipped with cutting-edge technology, including a laser weapon in her arm and the ability to fly. Her primary directive is to find evidence that life can once again be sustained on Earth. She is very focused on her mission, but when she thinks she's alone, we see a whole other side to her, as she gives a little smile of relief, flies around and starts having fun. Here are 5 keys how to convey emotion and theme in WALL-E. Visual storytelling. The film opens up with desolate landscapes covered in garbage, showing the consequences of consumerism and neglect, without needing exposition. The visuals set the tone and context for Wall-E's lonely existence. Character expression. Wall-E's body language and facial expressions communicate his feelings of curiosity and loneliness. For instance, when he discovers a plant, his excitement and hope are shown through his playful interactions, rather than told through dialogue. Contrast in setting. The stark difference between Earth and the spaceship Axiom illustrates the themes of environmental degradation and the loss of human connection. The lush, vibrant scenes with Wall-E contrast sharply with the sterile, automated environment of the Axiom, highlighting the film's message about the consequences of neglecting our planet. Relationships. The evolving relationship between Wall-E and Eve is portrayed through their actions and interactions. Their moments of connection, like when Wall-E gets a kiss from Eve, he can barely move and drifts away slowly in space. Sound design. The use of sound, like the melancholic music accompanying Wall-E's daily routines, enhances the emotional depth. It evokes a sense of nostalgia and sadness, illustrating his isolation without explicitly stating it. Show, don't tell with their first meeting. Imagine being alone for hundreds of years, with your only companion being a cockroach. Doesn't that sound depressing? Then out of nowhere, a spaceship lands next to you, revealing this pure, bright and shiny character of the opposite gender. You can see a shy Wall-E staring in amazement in an almost worshipful manner. He is completely in awe. Wall-E is in love. Then of course he makes a noise, breaking Eve from a moment of feeling free and bringing her back to reality of her mission, almost resulting in her killing Wall-E. In contrast to that, Eve's first time seeing Wall-E, she asks him, "Who are you?" She scans him and moves on with her mission. That doesn't get Wall-E down, as she lets out a relaxed sigh of amazement at her. It's not until Eve is in danger that she shouts his name for help, and Wall-E becomes Eve's knight in not so shiny armor. He takes her to his house and tries to impress her with all his toys. Eve is still on high alert, but has a few moments of letting her guard down, even giggling at Wall-E. This continues until Wall-E shows her the plant, and she returns to her mission, with her programming taking over. Anger. Eve gets angry and frustrated at Wall-E a lot in this film, but she doesn't verbally tell him, except when she says his name with a hint of irritation. When they first bring the plant to the captain, Eve sees Wall-E and tries to hide him. Wall-E is so visually zoned out he cannot even hear her. When the plant isn't there, she immediately becomes mad at Wall-E. You can see the anger in her eyes. When they are fugitives or labeled rogue robots, Wally points it out on the monitor. In her own unique style, Eve shoots the monitor, completely destroying it. Wally, with fear, curls up like a tortoise. Nobody needs to be told that she is angry or that he is scared. They show it. The most important expression of affection in Wally. It may be the most basic way of showing affection, but in the film Wally, it is the most important. Holding hands. Holding hands can be platonic or a way to show love and friendship. Someone pulling back or rejecting holding your hand can hurt you or show that there is a lack of trust between the two people. Wally's biggest desire or want in the film is to love someone and hold hands. This is shown throughout the whole film. As Eve grows and changes, she also feels a connection with Wally. When Wally is hurt, he gives Eve the plant. She forgets about the mission and starts showing emotion toward Wally. Instead of holding her hand, he puts it aside. They both go against their original desire or want. Wally now wants to finish the mission, which will also take him back to Earth to receive a new chip. Eve cares now more about Wally than the mission. The last scene. When Wally receives his new chip and is rebooted, you expect him to be back to his joyful self. But that is not the Wally we know. His eyes are dead and emotionless. He even destroys the possessions he holds so dear and drives over his cockroach companion. The most emotion and life are in our eyes. Whether we lack emotion or overflow with it, our eyes tell the story. After Eve kisses Wally with a spark, the spark in his eyes slowly returns. Wally is alive again and holding Eve's hand. Now we know Wally is loving and kind, but can you think of any character flaws that he has? I'd love to hear your comments about it or what you enjoyed about the film. Thank you for watching. Until next time, let's zoom in on that.